schedule might not be doing anything just yet. I don't know how long I'll be on here for this live, but anyways, I am live here on the Tube of Views for all you lovely people. And oh god, my hair's just a mess. My hair's a mess. I really just need to get this cut. Just chop it. And because I don't know how much I want to do, but anyways, so well, I'll just wait for a little bit of people, but yeah, so it's Easter, so happy Easter. Hope you all are having a fantabulous weekend. I am just here and contemplating what I want to do next with my car. Hey, Brian. Thanks for coming out to the live. I hope you're having a fantastic Easter Sunday, and yeah. Because I don't know if you saw my last video that I just uploaded this morning. It's available right now for anybody that wants to see my descent into complete disappointment. Because it's a slow descent throughout the entire video, and by the end of it, I'm just like, you could pretty much see a cigarette in my hand type idea of disappointment, you know? Obviously, I don't smoke or anything like that, but that's the best I can describe it. Just like when you're just sitting there, like, oh man, you know. But yeah, that was not great. Like, and yes, I do. Basically 110 psi across the entire range. Now that motor should have about 160-ish in that range, so it's definitely hurt. Now, I did not warm up the engine to do that compression test, but I already know, I mean, that motor, I should just stop denying it. That motor's hurt. Yeah, see, there you go. Like, it should be, yeah, 160, 165, somewhere in there. And even at a cold temperature of being 110, pretty much across the board, I think there was one cylinder that was like 115. That's not good. Plus, like, and I need to stop denying it. That motor's hurt. You know, like, initially I just thought, hey, you know what? I can just tune my way out of this. No, there's no tuning out of that. That is just bad compression. So, that's the idea, or at least find a 302 in general to put in it. Like, the Explorer 302 would be the best option for me, as long as I can pry it out of his hands, because I know he's got a few of them lying around, so we'll have to see. There's also, like, I could pick up a 302 really cheap. I don't know if it's a good one, though. I'd have to see if it runs properly, because I know it turns over healthy and seems like it's got the compression, but, there is actually out at Greg's, there is a Thunderbird. It's a 78 or 79 with a 302, right? Not the best year, but actually has a flat top piston, so it's one of the better years for that. It is a roller 302 in it currently. It's actually an 86 motor, which the 86 and a year engines are the worst year because they have the E6 heads. They produce almost no power, and they're just not great. Honestly, you know, they came with the sequential fuel injection from the factory, but obviously mine's been swapped to a carburetor. And, like, I prefer carbs, but, I mean, fuel injection, there is something to be said about injection. So, like, what I'm looking at right now with the car is, okay, like, weighing out my options, and basically, I'm probably at the point, like, I'm gonna swap the motor. But just seeing, okay, what do I want to swap it with? It's going to be another 302, unless if somebody offers me, like, some crazy 289 that's built or something, you know, we'll see. But it's going to be a small block. It won't be a 351, because I don't feel like cutting holes in my hood. I'm not opposed to it, but it's not something I want to do. So, you know, we'll get that out of the way right now. And, yeah, so, like, I'm at a point of where, okay, because I know my buddy... The buddy that has the Explorer with that motor in it also has a few other 302s lying around as well. And basically with all of these, what we do a bench test until we found a good one. Is, you know, run it, make sure it doesn't smoke too badly, sort of thing. And as well, do a compression test on all these motors. And just make sure that they're, you know, any of them are good. And then we'll drop it in the car. Because that's the benefit of, you know, before we drop it in the car and realize, oh, this motor's bad too, you know. just do the tests really simply, and you can set up a motor to run. Just doesn't even need to be on an engine stand. You can just have it on the ground or like on a tire or something, and get it to run within like 10 minutes. It's pretty simple. So, because all you need is power, like a battery, and yeah, you just really need a battery and gas, and it should fire. So I've never actually bench tested an engine before, but I've never actually swapped an engine myself, so this will be a first for me. And like yeah, because the other 302 like that is local to me that I could probably I could do most of the work out there, and I could pull it out and get it to a nice spot. But yeah. Well, thank you, Johnny. Yeah, like the one thing is that that motor in it is just there's no point in really doing too much with it because again, 86-year engine. It was like the worst year of 302 that they ever came out with because at least every other year you can swap freaking heads around and you can put hot cams in them and make it great. 86 is the only year you can't do that because you're only allowed, I think it's 255 lift, which is not good. Like usually the decent cams are at least 270, right? So it's not, you know, it is. It's an AOD in that car, and although I don't know if the overdrive works properly, because it revs quite decently on the highway, but I'd have to look into that. Although I haven't driven it on the highway with the new tires on it yet, with the really tall, wide tires that I put on it, because and I did order air shocks for it, but I have actually canceled my order on those, and I'm probably just gonna go with spacers for the springs. They'll work. And contrary to popular belief, it's not that bad if you actually install them properly. Because most people don't. They do a really bad job of installing their spacers, and that's why you have issues. Okay, so that gives me a little more time. Okay. Because yeah, I don't know how long I'll be on here just because of family stuff today with Easter, but I'll try and be as long as I can. Yeah. Because yeah, and I am disappointed absolutely in that motor, but there's not much I can do about it, and it's not like I'm not gonna dump $2,000 to $2,500 into that to make it good. It's just again not worth it. If it was a different year, maybe, but then that's gonna really chew into how much money I have, so it's not exactly worth doing that way. So that's basically where I'm at. And a motor swap shouldn't be too bad. Now, if I happen to go with the Explorer engine, I won't get to use my headers, but I have an idea with those headers, so we'll see. Because I had a wild idea last night of so I know enough welders and stuff like that maybe we can piece these equal length headers together on my inline six. So.
Your headers won't fit on that engine?
Well, if I go with a different engine, like the one that I want to go with, that they won't. Because they have cantilever. Whatchamacallit? Spark plugs. So they're not straight in on those Explorers nowadays. But I mean, and building out a budget 302. I mean, well, I am on a budget anyways, and I would be open to that. Because whenever I put it into it, while the motor's out, if we find a good one, may as well get a cam and lifters and stuff like that for it. Just get everything nice in there. Put in a put in a new timing chain, that sort of thing. This is gonna be probably $800-900 into the swap. So, which is not ideal, but it's not bad, to be honest. And because you can find cheap 302s lying around. There are pretty much a dime a dozen, and then the ones that are built, even then, they're not that expensive. Like, you can get a fully built used motor. It's only like $2,000 if you really wanted to. It kind of negates sending it to a shop and then building it out that way at times, right? Um, and like, if I had connections to a machine shop, could get it done cheaper, we might explore that a little more and put new pistons in or whatever else, but not on this motor. Just not at this time. And also, like, and I don't have, the one thing is, I don't have the workspace to, like, properly pull a motor here and whatever else. I don't. The space that I have that at is in Edmonton. So that is, what, 2.5 hours north of here. We'd be doing it at my friend's shop there, and, like, he would not sell me a bum motor. I know that. At least intentionally. Really good guy, to be honest, and I'm not too worried about that. So I'd love to find another roller 302, so that not only, hey, roller cam, but then also I can use my new distributor and stuff like that. And yes, my cat is photobombing. Hey, fat cat.
I'll be back. I'll the store, and then we should bail.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'm only gonna be here for another maybe 20-ish minutes, just so y'all are aware. Because yeah, we got family stuff to do today. So yeah, just hopefully this time I don't get the Rona, because last time I did. It was not fun. But yeah, so and like, because something is funny, and don't get me wrong, it might help a little bit, but it's just a band-aid. Because like, my dad's like, well, why don't you just put some Lucas in it? I'm like, I mean, I could, but it's just a band-aid. So yeah, and I mean, and it's fine, and like, I'll just drive that thing around town till either A, the motor blows up, or B, it gets hauled up onto a trailer up to Edmonton. It's gonna be one or the other, so we'll see. I've got AMA, so if the motor does blow up, not the end of the world to get it home. It's funny to think that way, but it's one of these deals. And like, and I'm gonna keep that car on automatic as well. I'm not gonna swap it to a T5, even though I've got this T5 short shifter. But this is gonna, and you can tell the freaking ball actually stripped out. So it was just a crappy aftermarket ball. It was not the original Hurst one. Because this is a Hurst short shifter, and it's brand new. You can tell, like, because it still has, you can still see the factory packing grease in there. So it's pretty neat. This doesn't look like it was ever mounted. Just been sitting in a guy's shop for who knows how long. So it's pretty cool. And like, I'm currently looking for a T5. Maybe I'll find one, because there's a swap meet coming up again in Stony. I just have to see what weekend that is, because if that happens to be a different weekend than the car show that I'm going to, we'll see. I want a 5-speed, yes, but I don't want to lose the drivability and cruisability of my convertible. Because that's the thing. Like, banging gears with a top down would be fun. Absolutely it would be, but not for that car. Not yet. If I blow up the transmission, we'll go to a T5 then. That's where I'm at with that one. It's just, it's got a nice, good working transmission with overdrive and everything. Although I don't know how well the overdrive works. But, yeah. Because again, RPM's a little higher on the highway. So, and I'm curious. Because that's something I should look into. I'm pretty sure it's an AOD. But it's possible that it's a C5 with the lockout instead of an overdrive. And if it's a C5, I mean, that causes concern, because that'll grenade itself with a 302 pretty quick. There's a reason why they never put it behind a 302. But I'm pretty sure it's an AOD. I'd have to look into that. But hey, I mean, you know what? Driving or riding your motorcycle, hey, that's always fun. I'm kind of disappointed in a way, because there was an auction that I was bidding on stuff last week, and I did not get my motorcycle. I'm very sad about that. Because there was a motorcycle that I wanted in there. It was just getting to be a little too expensive for me. Just because I like to get a good deal and everything, and while it was still a decent deal, it wasn't amazing. And happy Easter, Mustang guy. Definitely appreciate you coming to the live stream. I won't be here for terribly much longer. Again, maybe another 20-ish minutes, and then I'll have to bail. But you know what? That's fine. Um. So yeah. It is. It's a fun time with cars right now. Like, at least I have one good, reliable car, and I'm not gonna tear into her until I have another good, reliable car. Because Lilo's not. And that car is, I mean, kind of cursed in a way. Like, I seized the first motor because of that stupid fuel injection system that failed. And then this one, that motor's on its way out. It's hurt. Like, I tried to deny it for so long, just thinking, hey, I'll slap a distributor in this thing that's a vacuum advance, and I'll tune the carb, and it'll be right as rain. No. No. That's just optimism talking there. It's just sad, but okay, get rid of that. Put that over there. But, this happens with cars. The trials and tribulations of owning a car, and it doesn't matter if it's newer or older, you'll eventually come across this sort of thing. And, it might not be, hey, catastrophic engine failure or anything like that, no. Because, I mean, when I seized the motor before, yeah, that was catastrophic engine failure. It was losing oil pressure because gas got into the oil pan, and it was not pretty. And it makes me wonder if the guy that, and I don't know for sure. I mean, he seemed like he was a pretty straight shooter and everything, but you never know with people. The guy that I bought the car back off of after he did the swap, like, I wonder if he actually got rid of it, like if he just lied to me and he got rid of it because it had a bum motor in it. And he knew that, but he just wanted to get rid of it. And, it's possible. I'm not gonna say for sure. I'm not gonna throw any accusations really out there, but, it's a thought, right? That's easily a thing that people do. And the guy happens to own a shop and whatever else, but, and I still have our text conversation, technically, for when I sold it to him. But yeah, and I mean, he sold it back to me for a reasonable price, to be honest. Although it's getting a little rustier now, so I do have to address that at some point too. Like the thought came into my head, it's just like, hey, sell this car, but it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's just, even though it's the more economical thing to do, absolutely, but not what my heart wants. Right? My heart wants to keep the car and drive it and all that stuff, and so I'll continue to do so until that motor goes boom, or we swap out the motor. Either or. So yeah. Plus, it looks really killer with those awesome wheels and tires. Now, I could, like, realistically, if I really wanted to, but again, I don't want to, like, sell the convertible, put those wheels and tires on stitch, have those big, wide meats, which is funny with an inline six, but, it would look good. Put those on there, and then just dump the money into stitch. But I'm not doing that, because, like, with the money that I'd get from that would paint the entire car, it would do all the body mods I want, it'll probably do all the internal stuff to the engine that I want, but the thing is, I need a second car, so, it's one of those deals that it doesn't really work out that way for me to do that and then do what I want to do to my car, right? I'd have to get some little ship box for like $500 in that instance, but I don't want to, right? Although there is a cool little beater that I would actually grab right now, because I found, and they're actually really rare to find, and you'll probably just kind of scoff at it, but I don't care. I like them. There's somebody selling what year is that? It's a 97 Saturn SW. I don't know if it's a SW1 or SW2, which basically all that means is SW1, single overhead cam, SW2, dual overhead cam. But what really draws me to it, it's a 5-speed stick. So, you know what? That'd just be fun. It's got high mileage, whatever else, but it's an old Saturn. They're honestly really good cars. But just as a little beater, right? Great. Oh yeah, well the thing is, okay, before we pull any engines, because it might not be the Explorer engine, we are going to be exploring options when we get it up there, because he's got a few 302s actually lying around. So any engine that we touch, though, going to make sure, okay, A, does it run, and make sure it runs. B, do a compression test, see how it is. If any of them have less than, because at about 150 psi, I am comfortable with. In any of these motors, because that's a little bit of wear and whatever else, and I'm fine. And the thing is, I can boost the compression by putting a better cam in it, lifters, that sort of thing, right? And then also do timing chain as well. Just freshen up everything. And like I said, this is probably going to cost me $800 to $1,000 to do the swap, as opposed to sending out the motor to get rebuilt and still have crappy heads on it because that, and costing me $2,500, right? It's not worth it. So that's fine. And because there is another option for a 302 here in town, because I know I could probably pick up the T-Bird for almost next to nothing. It's a late 70s T-Bird with a 302 in it, which I know those are actually, excluding the heads on those, the actual pistons themselves are like a flat top, and they're actually kind of nice for building out and putting, different heads on them or whatever else. But yeah, and in that one, because that's out of Greg's, it just wouldn't have that much power, but you can get that power back pretty quick. To be honest, just swap the heads and boom, there it is, right? And that one's had a front end collision, but the one thing is, because a lot of the Fords out there, you put a battery in it and you try and crank it and nothing happens. That specific T-Bird, you put a battery in it and the thing wants to fire off immediately. The starter is stuck open. So, the starter cylinder. So, that could be another one that I'm thinking about as well. But will I get that one? Probably not. However, I do know if I'm desperate for a 302, I could probably pull it out of there in about a day. And then, yeah, and go from there. So, I don't know. It's just one of these deals that, weighing out options. But again, I'll just drive it right now, get it towed up there, and go from there. Thanks, Mustang guy. I really do appreciate that, because, yeah, it's just, damn curse with that car, And it's, I don't know what it is. Because Stitch, when I think there's a catastrophic issue with Stitch, she's fine. When I think there's a catastrophic issue with this, it always is one. There always is. Because, yeah, because if you watch that compression test video, I don't know if any of you have or not, but basically I had an even about 110 psi across the board. Now, the motor was cold, so that does affect it a little bit, but not enough. Because that would only, at that point, it would only gain maybe 20 psi, but that's still low. Yeah. Yeah, because I think my highest was 119. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you did comment to say, hey, by the way, you had the pistons backwards. Yeah. Whoops. I always thought it was driver's side, but I guess I'm wrong. And I'm totally fine with being proven wrong like that. Because, yeah, I make mistakes. It's totally fine. I mean, and as people know, if you are a regular to my channel, you'll know that I have zero experience with a 302. Other than what I've been doing with this one. It just sucks, though, because, I just put a new water pump in that motor, and stuff like that. There's a water pump put in it, and what else have I done to that? I did swap out the thermostat, too, so. Oh, for sure. And, I mean, I've been having trolls on it, to be honest. There are people that have said on Facebook that, well, actually, it's very polarizing actually for people whether they like or hate the rake that I have on it currently. Hey, no worries, Sean. Happy Easter to you both as well. And I mean, I'm not going to be here for terribly much longer, anyways. But yeah, I definitely appreciate, you know, you saying that. And yeah, it's been fun. This has been a pretty good live stream so far, actually. You know, so maybe I just have to do more live streams on holidays. There you go. Usually don't get the opportunity. So yeah, but luckily, you know. Yeah, see, I love the rig that it currently has. You know, and I get it's polarizing because of the year. I get that, but I don't care. Yeah, and hi to Jeff's back. Have fun, Brian. Yeah, go ride to your heart's content, and then just don't run out of fuel, because then you have to, you know, push your bike back, and that sucks. Anyways, go have fun, ride safe, catch you later. See, no, exactly. Get that stance. You know, I'm curious though, and I kind of want to do it. I want to put those wheels and tires on Stitch just to see how she looks with it too. Not that I'm gonna swap them completely over. Like I'll just do it for a couple pictures and then swap them back. But you know, I just thought like it'd be really funny actually. Inline six that makes like 100 horsepower, could, you know, rake on it. That was not intentional, by the way. Oh fuck. Oh, we have fun here. Um, yeah, because if you didn't know, because I was on actually Novitas's live stream last night, his little podcast, and he took his Trans Am around the block, for kind of the last time until it gets the EFI swap, which he's got basically all the parts now. Pretty sure you have all of them at this point, and he ran out of gas, so yeah, so had to push it back. Um, and yeah, which I have never done that. I have run out of gas, but that was my fault. To be honest, because what I did was I wanted cheaper gas in Red Deer in Stitch, and I was driving up to Edmonton. I'm like, you know what? Looking at the gas, it could make it. I had a jerry can in the trunk, so I wasn't really worried about it. So you know, I'm going down the highway, and I'm constantly looking at the gas gauge. Like, are you gonna run out of fuel? I know that gas tank's clean, so I'm not worried about it. Hey, thank you so much for the donation. I really do appreciate it. It's been a while since I've had one. Yeah, thanks, Sean. I really do appreciate that. See, what I love is when people actually donate in American, I get more because it's Canadian. Like that $2.53. Yes. I could go buy like a pop with that. Or as you Americans call it, soda. You know, I have one right here. My hair's a mess. Oh god. You know, some days my hair's nice, but there we go. Well, I definitely appreciate it. And let's see. Oh, there you go. Hey, that's a nice plan there. Because like I know that I need to, and I might just do it myself. We'll see. Um, because I don't need much for patching on my convertible. Just a little bit on both rear quarters, and I should pull off all the moldings to see how bad it is, because it's looking like the driver's door might need to be just replaced altogether, or well, you know, patching in part of the skin. We'll see, but you know, because I'm not really looking forward to that. That's the one rough spot that I don't like. That it's getting, because and those stupid rubber moldings. That's why I hate them. And pulled. Well, actually, they were all off of my on stitch when I got it, except for the passenger side. It was still on, but I finally ripped it off. And like the thing is, because all they do is trap in moisture. It's no different than trim. Like, and the trim looks nice. Like the fender trim, I'll keep that on there, to be honest, because it's not actually holding any moisture at the moment. It's not rusting anything, so that's fine. But those rubber freaking moldings are the worst. Like, they're really thick. They're about that thick, and they just glue onto the side of the car. Which, like, it's actually hiding really cool body lines too. So I don't know. We'll see if I pull those. Like, I should pull them off the car, and then see how bad is the rest underneath all of this. Because I could always just freshen them up and glue them back on after if I want to. Or just say screw it and keep it like that. You do realize that it's not that mint of a car, right? Like, it's not the end of the world, and when I drive that car, I park away from everything else. So, there's a reason for that. But, and to be honest, depending on the door, I'll still get door dings anyways. So, it's not, like, yeah, outweighing, like, here's the thing, you say, yeah, you'll get door dings. I'd much rather have door dings than have rust. Plus, also, actually, something I should show off here really quick. Okay. The cat will entertain you for a moment. Every single one of these, but I do have. Hi, Saber. Okay, I need you to move, please. Please. I know. I just got up and keep moving you around. But because stuff I picked up at the auction is, well, I have 3 of these different sizes of automotive dollies, right, for doing body work. So I'm prepared on that. And because I've been looking for a set of those for a while, and they were just super cheap. And then something that I got, because again, it was cheap, I've got a slide hammer now too, so I can pull dents with the best of them. That's fair. Exactly. And like, and this slide hammer, it's about a 3 or 4 pound slide. So it'll pull some pretty decent dents. I've never actually used one of these, so will be interesting to see, how I do with it. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, so yeah, I've always wanted one, and when I saw this in the auction, I just had to buy it. Along with these dollies too, because I have, like I said, I have 3 of those different sizes. That's the smallest one. And yeah, so overall, it was a good day with that, because I also bought that day. I did buy an old Chilton's manual for old Hondas, not just for the Civic, like Hondas from, I think it's a 74 up to 82. So, bunch of stuff, to be honest, in there. And I bought it's a Wagner brake book, because I don't know drum brakes that well, like putting them together and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to have that literature around. Yeah, see, that's not a bad idea, actually. I could actually use this slide hammer with, obviously, some modifications and stuff to actually pull bearings. That's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. There you go. See, that's the reason why he joined. Not only to give me money, but to give me some good thoughts that way. That's what it is. Yeah. I appreciate that though. Yeah, no, that's a good idea. And yeah, because it's interesting how this thing is designed. Because again, I've never actually held one of these until the other day. So, and it has the original box with it. Now my hands are all dirty, but yeah, that's fine. I still gotta clean up before I leave. So, in a bit, because probably in the next 10 minutes or so, my dad will be home, and then I'll just very quickly, clean myself up, put a little bit of makeup, and head out. So, yeah, we'll just drive my dad's car. He's got a functional stereo. So, my car's more comfortable, though, I think. At least my Stitch is. Because Stitch is actually more comfortable than the Vert is. By far. Yeah, and like in... You know, I'm just sad that the motor's hurting my car, but that's okay. That's okay. Because, yeah, like, and interestingly, you know, like with the inline six, I found that little piece of metal on it. Haven't noticed any difference with the car. Other than it doesn't get as good a gas mileage as it used to. It might be the extra ethanol that they're putting in the fuel. I don't know. For sure. Because I don't like ethanol fuels. Like, that's why I would like to... If Shell had separate pumps for 91 octane, I just put strictly 91 in it because they do not put ethanol in their 91 octane. But they don't have separate pump handles. They have separate pumps, but same handles. So realistically, you still get some ethanol 87 fuel in there, or even 89 in through there. So, and my car loves 91 octane. It runs better. It makes more power. It's better. So, which is funny because there are people that have told me, "Hey, no, that's not the case." Well, drive the car. Exactly. Like, you know, because there is like when I was out in, actually I was in Stoli Plain, because I wanted to, when I was up there filming that Ford Durango, I wanted to stop in actually on the other side, which is Stony Plain, because I was in the car was in Sherwood Park. You know, so it goes Sherwood Park, Edmonton, then Stony Plain, right? And what I wanted to do was, there's a shop out there that said, oh yeah, we can clean out the tank and whatever else you need to do to it for the Civic. And so I was going to drop it there, but I didn't. The problem was that day they were actually out of the shop. So it's just like, oh man, so it blows. And they didn't mention it on their website or anything. So, you know, save me a bunch of time. But the thing is, you know, it's fine. Not the end of the world, it's annoying. However, I went to go stop at a gas station, like, and I was just looking at Gas Buddy to see, okay, where's the closest gas station that has the cheapest gas? And there was this place that actually had cheaper than everywhere else by about 10 cents a liter, and they actually had a separate pump for 91. So I'm just like, okay, yoink, I'm gonna put 91 in my car. Thank you. So yeah, I don't put 91 in the car often, but it really loves it when I do. Like, it's a big fan of it. And it likes Octane Booster, too. If you throw Octane Booster in the car, you notice a difference. It's not much of one, but there is a difference with how it runs and how fast it is. So, but again, it's an inline six, so you're not going to notice a ton. But, yeah, because I did that video, even though it wasn't running right at the time, I did get 2 passes where it was faster. It was 2 out of the 4, so, I mean, it was 50%, but it wasn't running right at the time. I need to redo that video, and go from there, because... Yeah, which I do plan on redoing that video, except for with an actual dyno test. So, you know, drive the car to the dyno, do the dyno test, you know, with no octane booster, then, you know, drive it around a little bit, put the octane booster in it, and make sure it mixes good and whatever else, then put it back on there and see the gain, right? It'd be a really cool sort of video. And I do plan on doing that eventually. I don't know when, but eventually I will. Because yeah, that's one of the videos I have planned. There's a few. Now that the weather is getting better, like, I might see about heading down to Calgary with my car in the next little bit and doing the review of that Firebird. Actually, that's Trans Am. It's not a Firebird, even though it is a Firebird Trans Am. But you know, besides the point. Doing that with a 6-speed manual, that'd be so much fun to bang gears again, because it's been a while. And do the video on his 81 Malibu as well. So that one's not ready for the road yet, but you know, it's interesting because he contacted me because he wanted pictures actually of my car next to his Malibu. So which is cool, honestly, because they're both 81s, and he likes the look of my car, so I'm like, sure, I don't mind that. And, as a kicker, he's just like, hey, yeah, and you can review my Trans Am. Absolutely. Having an LS with a 6-speed manual, and I love banging gears. It's one of the most fun things to do. And, yeah. Because there are people that do ask me, do you know how to drive manual? It's like, yeah, I learned on a 99 Ram, 1500. I miss that truck. I should have bought it off my dad, because that was a good truck. Oh well. It is what it is. I didn't have the money at the time, though, so there's that. But I could have made something work with my dad. But, oh well. But anyways, I think, because I know my dad's going to be back here just about any minute, so I think I will let you all go. I hope you all enjoy your Easter weekend, and yeah. Look forward to another update on the car sometime this week. Coming up. Whatever I do, because yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know when I'm gonna do my next video. We'll have to see. There's also I will be at a car show at the end of the month. So there will be a video on that as well. It's actually the No Boys Allowed season opener, so that should be fun. Because I didn't hit their one last year, but I'm gonna hit it this year. So yeah. Anyways, I'll talk to you all later. Enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend, and yeah, adios, amigos.